It's Movie Time. It's produced by John DeSando. Listen to shows and read reviews online at WCBE.org.
I'm John DeSando.
And I am Wayne Miller, great-great-great-grandson of Agatha Christie.
And it's movie time.
It is.
All right, so there's no mystery with you. You just spill it right out. Even
I know. That's true. You know, we should make it a real true whodunit.
Now let me see. Three blind mice. See how they run.
See how they run. Yep.
Right.
Which fits into the title of the play that's part of this movie.
Yeah. How do you figure that? The Mousetrap.
The Mousetrap.
Everybody's seen the Mousetrap in London.
Oh, I did, actually twice.
Yeah, I've seen it
once. And even once in the U.S. here, and I always enjoyed it.
So, you're saying there's a connection between See How They Run,
yes,
starring Sam Rockwell and Saoirse Ronan.
Saoirse Ronan, very good role for her.
So,
one review I read, they said that if there's any crime of this movie, it's larceny, because she steals the movie. I think she does.
All right, and so we have a film within a film setup. Mm-hmm. So you have the 100th anniversary of the Mousetrap in 1953.
Yeah, or 100th performance.
Okay.
Yeah. Because it started, I think, in 51, and as far as I know, it's still going strong.
It is.
I saw it about it was a year after its 25th anniversary, the first time I saw it in London in 1978.
And playwrights note this, even Bill Shakespeare, that this is the longest running play in history.
Yes, yep, and it still isn't for it. And it's so funny because I remember talking to some London people, and they would go see it at least once a year. You know, even though that what's happening, but it's just one of those like drawing room mystery, kind of a cozy type of thing that Agatha did. And what's surprising to me about this movie, See How They Run, is that the victim of the murder is an American director, because they're going to make a film adaptation of the Mousetrap, and as far as I know, there never has been a film adaptation.
Because she wrote it into the contract, Agatha Christie, that you could not have a film version of this only 6 months after it closed. And of course, that's not ever going to happen.
Yeah, well, and of course, her long life closed decades back. Yeah.
And the interesting thing is she appears as a character.
Yes, and a very interesting character, because I was expecting maybe somebody a little bit taller, a little bit more command, a little more pushy, Dame Agatha Christie, but this woman is, to me, a real hoot, coming in very late in the movie, and kind of like, she could probably play Miss Marple in another Miss Marple mystery.
Well, both the director, Tom George, and his writer, Mark Chappell, are newbies to film. They've done a lot of BBC TV, but there's a certain I don't know what it is. It's just a sharpness to this.
Yes.
Because I think they come from TV. I don't know why, because they come from TV.
Yeah, and a lot of people who do come from TV, and it depends on what they direct, but sometimes they could have a long time, especially if they're like a director of like a mini-series or something like that. But if they do like individual episodes, they have to have a very sparse type of directing style. To get
there's nothing fancy going on here. In fact, there's a lot of setups whereby you might not even move your camera.
Yeah, and they get around that in, I think, a rather ingenious way with split screen.
I know, and
and not just split 2 ways, but split 4 ways.
Yeah,
sometimes.
so they energize it a bit with that, and bird's eye shots and whip pans. So they do play with it. So they're good that way. Now, Adrian Brody bringing his
talk about an unkept American.
Right from right from Wes Anderson.
Yes, yes, yeah. He's going to be the director of the film adaptation
yeah,
of
right.
Mousetrap.
Right.
And, but just a smarmy type of unkempt guy, you know, that badly is in need of both a shave and a shower and shampoo.
I think the stars of this film are clearly Sam Rockwell and Saoirse Ronan.
Yeah.
And I agree with you about her. She is just spectacular. She's playing well, now she's a constable, right?
A constable, yeah, not a detective.
She's a greenhorn.
But very much so. And what's interesting, and you pick up a little bit about their own personal lives. Like, he's a war veteran who
the inspector, played by Sam Rockwell.
Exactly, who limps, and he was wounded, they won't say how, during the war, but you see him one time with his pants off, and he does have this like knee brace thing. And then she had mentioned that she had been married and her husband died in the war, and she has 2 children.
Yeah.
And which kind of surprised me as I was watching this, because that's, I think, the only mention she has of her kids. And she looked very young.
Oh, she did. And she's all gung-ho. She's ready to solve the mystery. Anybody who seems suspicious, she put the handcuffs on them, and they'd be off to jail.
And she is a compulsive note-taker. And at one time, Rockwell's character said, "Do you write everything down while I try?" And so at one time, he told her not to jump to conclusions, and which she refers to several times throughout the movie in her little notebook that she really kind of bold-faced.
Well, you know, Rockwell is playing the inspector in the tradition that probably Agatha Christie started, which is kind of the schlubby detective.
Yeah.
The Columbo type, which you would identify
Yes,
with.
very much Columbo type, and really kind of, in some ways, underplays his role.
Oh, I
he
love
just
it.
kind of slumps in, you know, probably it looks like he'd been on a bender.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
he slurs his words.
Oh, badly in need of having his suit and coat and hat even dry cleaned.
But his British accent is not bad for an American.
Very good.
Yeah.
I thought, and of course, you still hear a little bit of her, Saoirse's Irish lilt a little bit.
Yes.
In her accent.
Yeah.
And so she's not, he's a little bit more of a Cockney, London type accent. She has a little bit of that could pass for, you know, obviously because she's Irish, but either Irish or Scottish. A bit of an accent.
So it sounds to me like you might admit that there's nothing really new here.
Not at all. No. Which makes it interesting, because that one review that talks about her also said that with all the comedy and all that, they don't, it's still a whodunit, and they don't relax much about the whodunit. It's still a murder mystery.
Right.
A murder fan, a mystery fan like ourselves, could still appreciate and enjoy.
Yeah, and you know, you're reminding me that there's a raft of good actors here, and I'm thinking particularly of Harrison Dickinson as Richard Attenborough.
Yes.
And how they play with it, because Attenborough doesn't look anything like this guy.
No.
This guy's got to be about 6'3",
and when the first time in 1978 that I saw The Mousetrap in London, and they they were still using the programs that they had used the year before for the 25th anniversary of The Mousetrap, and they had a lot of things that a lot of photos over the years, but particularly in the first run of the play with Attenborough.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that he had been in it. And of course, by this time, since he well known for directing Gandhi,
yes,
and a lot of people would recognize him from the first 2 Jurassic Park movies as the rich guy who sponsors the DNA experiments with dinosaurs and stuff like that. And he's been in another very good role that Attenborough done was the the Sand Pebbles
Yeah.
with Steve McQueen.
Well, and Ronan's character is goo-goo-eyed about him. Remember, he's
Yes,
giving her tickets
she-
to the play. Another part of her personality that I like so much.
Yeah.
And he, they're all, they're all just
Yes.
steeped in the Brit tradition.
Yes.
The dry wit, the reserve.
Right down to the snobbish butler that there in Agatha Christie's house that unfortunately when they had mixed up the cups of tea and one of them was poison.
And well, we've had a raft of these, and you know what I'd like to do in our podcasts,
Yeah.
Back Talk, I'd like us to get into a little bit of your favorite Agatha Christie types.
Oh, I'd love to.
I know that.
I definitely
And so meanwhile, we've got Knives Out, what, The Glass Onion coming up? That's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
sequel
which
to that.
seems like that's going to be good
Yeah,
too.
so we've had some already, a continuous revival of this genre.
Exactly. The classic whodunit.
Yeah.
With a cast of suspects.
All right, Wayne Miller.
Yep.
The film is See How They Run. What do you say? What do you recommend?
I would recommend it's a really good movie, and you can take the family to it, but I think little kids may not appreciate it very much. I think they may get kind of bored.
But you know what they would like?
What?
The hot dog.
The Phoenix hot dog.